because there was no clarity of policy on how to manage it. Now that we have up to 400 in one county, 500 in one county, it's important that they are all organized so that they don't become they don't support criminal activities in where they are. They are accountable to the OCS, but also accountable to IPOA and accountable to the National Police Service, because 10,000 is a critical number. NPR plays a very critical role. Most of these MPs that come from marginalized areas, they think the only request is NPR. When they come, they say, please, we want the NPR. They don't even ask for further deployment of police officers. They ask for locally the NPR. So as we increase the numbers, we want to make sure that the policy. I promise that in the next 2 months, we should be done with this process so that we bring it to this committee. And then we can have a workshop to discuss it. And then we continue with the stakeholder engagement. And eventually, we will have clarity on command. Where law needs to be amended, we will then leave it to the committee with the proposals of amendment so that they can do the amendment. But at the moment, it is standard operating procedures that we want to put in place for the NPR. The last thing is...
So maybe says, because I know Masara wanted to say something, for your information actually, not surprisingly, the issue of the very ordinary NPR, which we are using in our North Rift, the north part of the country, I don't want to emphasize the importance. Yeah. Actually, the problem we have, and I'm talking out of experience, is of course even the game rangers.
Yes.
Because now their recruitment is done by the county governments. Of course, their remuneration done by the same. And majority of the time, they recruit their supporters. So here are supporters who are armed with sophisticated guns. Of course, we then have their own governors. They convert these people to be part of their militia or organizing group. I'm sorry to use that word, because of course, exceptionally, they are good ones. But now, because I don't want to bring that, it's a big topic, and I think it is a conversation that we will plan. We have been having issues as committee, so that if need be to affirm some loose end in our acts, we need to, because like in Narok, I've given you an example, you are also a constituent there. They don't respond to any command of our police. It is the employees of the governors, they are the support group of a governor, and these are armed people. But now, maybe we don't open that.
But no, the point I was just saying is that rangers are KPR or NPR. I wish that understanding was fast achieved. So what we are doing in the policy proposal is to see how then these rangers can be answerable to the OCS in the next door, and where do they interact with the county police, county security committee or sub-county security committee. That nexus is what is missing, both for rangers, and you know rangers are in Narok, Marsabit, they are in Laikipia, they are in Isiolo, they are in Samburu, they are in Tana River. So a number of these places across the country, and I don't know if Turkana have the rangers also for county government, but it is important that, and you know, the interesting bit of the rangers actually is that they can do a very good job. In Laikipia, for example, they have been very supportive in terms of fighting banditry, and in some, I went to one of the ranches, conservancy, sorry, and I was shown the way they are kitting their rangers, the way they are giving propaganda, of course, with the permission of government, and that technology they use, including drones, has helped in banditry in that area. In fact, I feel like I wish there was a way we would be organizing all the NPR across the country. But of course, you know, they're paid better, you know, they are kitted better. And so we can get value from these rangers. I don't think we properly organized and with proper view of the police service, they can be of great help. And the ones in Laikipia have been of great help in recovery of livestock, including recently where the Conservancy is also offered, including their aerial power to support recovery of a lot of livestock in the neighborhood. So there's a benefit that comes with it. I don't really think that there's anything wrong with the county government establishing and putting these people. And ordinarily, if you are employed at the time of if the governor is Honorable Tongoyo and you have been employed at that time, generally as human beings, some loyalty is here and there. But as long as they're trained and they appreciate that that loyalty cannot go beyond certain boundary because you are an armed officer of a national government, then they will know that they will be held into account. And if we bring IPOA to the mix, it doesn't matter who supported me to be in office, I will try to act independently. And it's also, of course, source of also livelihood and employment locally. So there is a lot of benefits that come with it, including in the conservancies.
We'll close this. Masara, you want to say something? Is it a comment or a question?
It's just a comment. PS and CS, the path you are following is very good, but I took a different path. Why do you think 23 men with a gun shooting one person without a gun? It is a mental issue and psycho support issue. That's why I have a bill, and this bill was generated as a result of a research which was done. Now that you see now, in my first term as a parliamentarian, I concentrated on the police officers because these issues were more of in the police officers. But you see now we are bringing KWS, many cases where they are killing other people. So this bill, Chair, I support you. I thank you for supporting it in the third reading. Why don't you go through it so that maybe we can include KWS and other bodies, because the research indicated very clearly that our men and women in uniform are facing a lot of psychosocial support issues, and the bill is going to bridge the gap. So before it concluded in the third reading, maybe we can see, because in the third reading we are able to include other clauses. So maybe the ministry can go through it so that we fast track it. It will help our men and women in uniform who are carrying guns, because there must be a problem why there are rampant cases of them shooting civilian. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, sorry, I forgot to respond to Honorable Kakai's question on the lab. The lab requires, I agree with him that in some cases we need to work together with our development partners who are willing to support the equipping of the lab. But you know, this is a security sector. The first priority should, or the first point of call should be the government of Kenya, where it should be ourselves putting resources to this. But I agree with him that where we have traditional partners that we can work together, we can work with them to ensure that we equip the lab. And again, when I engage the DCI, it's not just about, we may have time to discuss the question of forensics and evidence, and the need for us to finance that sector. You know, because of the competing issues of budgetary concerns, there are even places like, for example, government chemist, extremely important, yeah, but where are the funds? They are generally underfunded, yet they are extremely important collection of evidence and in prosecution. Part of the reason why there is the delay in the Shakahola closing of the cases is because of the government chemist's capacity. So we need to work towards this. But we have made strides in government. We should not look like we are crying throughout. We have made a lot of strides. But you know, Kenyans are demanding cutting-edge technology, cutting-edge investigations in the shortest time possible, but we have to balance our ability to finance these processes with also the competing interest in different sectors, including in the social and educational sector. On the Tarasa sub-county and the Kone police station, we agreed that we will equip Kone police station and we will operationalize Tarasa, and I look forward to us going back to Tana River to make sure that that is done, because some of these areas government is very far. And as been explained, you need to go to these marginalized counties to realize the real reason why sub-counties are being created is to cover the vastness of these areas. There may be no much population, but you know, every life matters, and we must be able to do so. And Mr. Chair, I wanted to clarify that when we talk about rangers, it's not just rangers for the county government. Also conservancies have rangers. So all these rangers and everybody need to be organized. And this bill we are working on and the policy we are working on, actually the policy we are working on, shall answer all these issues. One of the reasons why I'm fairly passionate about reorganizing KPR is because I come from an affected area. And so as a senator, I've seen it through, where you give people guns, you have not trained them, they are not accountable to anybody, so you are not sure which day they will join the crooks and which time they are going to defend the government and the people. So it is important for us to make sure that we organize this issue. Thank you very much, and I think we have exhaustively for now engaged on that issue. Oh, no, something Piers has just reminded me here. You might need to have a meeting separately. Maybe jointly with the Committee of Wildlife and Tourism to discuss this issue of KWS, and perhaps also another meeting on with KFS, because these issues keep coming. And you know, the police, they see this as colleagues. So before even an enforcement is done, if you see the amount of delay that occurred in Nakuru, in terms of the access and search for the body of Brian Odhiambo, it was because there were protocols that the police had to get, in terms of you have to write, it has to be escalated to DG's office before access is gained to the park. You know, that was totally unnecessary, and I think it's some of those issues that need to be dealt with, because if the police quickly access the park, perhaps evidence would have been, we would have gotten the evidence related to the arrest or arrest of Mr. Brian Odhiambo. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So you can move to the next question, but on the last part, I think I'm going to suggest, or direct rather, we're going to have a joint meeting as suggested by the CS and the PS between ourselves and the Committee on Wildlife, where your office and the KWS will be represented, so that